Oh man, I almost blew it again. I just looked down and saw my mute button was on. I am hearing you, right? No, you're hearing me. I'm a bit confused here because I just had someone join me. I was going to have a charter. Hey, hey, Tay Tay. But something just happened to her computer, so I just lost her. Oh, c'est la vie. So that'll make this show interesting. Now, maybe she'll pop back in. I don't know. In either case, we've got the show all lined up and we are ready to go. I'm John Zidar, in case you didn't know. I am the Wizzy. I trade over there at Penny Boys Discord every day, folks, from bell to bell. If you want to trade with me and a whole bunch of other guys that know about trading, join us. It's absolutely free. There is a link down below. It says this is the Penny Boys link. Doesn't get any easier than that. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's dive into this. I've got about 5 tickers already lined up, and we'll see what sort of time we have left over, and maybe I'll be able to jump into a few tickers here. Let's looking at comments here, making sure I'm not missing anything from Taylor. Hello, Velmore, first in line today. Of course she was. Yes, Underdog. Mark, good to see you, Mark. No, you didn't bring a ticker. That's okay. We got plenty of tickers to look at. MBS, you brought up 2 tickers, and I really wanted to look at Humble. Maybe we will look at Humble, but hey, that other one you brought up, BTZI, that is a very interesting stock. I'm going to be interested to share that one. Let's see, Krishera, you got here just in time. David, great to see all of you. Me, not me, me. That me. Benjamin, good to see you here. All right, folks. Looks like I am going to be jumping into this. If Taylor jumps in, she'll catch up. No problem. So I just got to remember to hit my buttons, right? I'm making sure you can see everything I see. You guys can hear me, right? Nobody's complaining. We're good. Okay, let's get the show on the road. This first ticker we're going to take a look at, I took notes here. Right, I did want to mention that. I don't know if any of you notice this, folks, but when we're over there trading at Penny Boys, we're looking for hot stocks all day. Any stock that starts running, any stock that has a lot of value. So we catch a lot of stocks. Well, today, we noticed there was a lot of OTC action starting back up. I don't know why. Radar, Humble, and DPLS all took some big jumps. Now, they may have dropped, but Humble, for God's sake, I saw that one yesterday at noon. Told everybody it looked like it was building up. Today, she took off from 0011. Last time I looked at it, it was at 0044. Yeah, 4 times she kicked up today. She did fall back, but that was a wild run. So hopefully, maybe, oh God, please let the OTC come back. We've been running at about 2 to 5 billion shares a day. I know that sounds like a lot, but before COVID, we were doing 60 to 70 billion shares a day. So this is a drought that we've been dealing with. All right, so let's see. Velmore brought me SMX Public Limited Company. They are from Dublin, Ireland. Let's see what we got here. I'm good to go. All right, SMX, she finished today at about 30.5 cents. Ooh, she dropped a lot today, about 24%. This is a penny stock on the major exchange. She's on the NASDAQ. The great thing about these penny stocks on major exchanges, there's no transaction fees. OTC, you're paying to get in, you're paying to get out. And it's just not that bad, but you have to plan how you trade. When you're up here on the major exchange, you can buy in 3 or 4 times as the price is falling or climbing. You do that on the OTC, you're spending money in a big way. Also, there's a lot more money and a lot more volume on the major exchange. That's why I've been playing penny stocks on the major exchange, but also because there's more rules. Oh, for God's sakes, folks, the OTC is beating investors to death these last couple of years. There's not as much oversight down there, so they get away with a lot more down there. And you wouldn't think they should, but they do. And it is the investors that pay for it. So I do like penny stocks on the major exchange for a lot of reasons. So SMX, what is this company about? SMX is the next generation solution to address the anti-counterfeit brand protection, client liability, and track and trace markets. What they do, I remember this company from a while ago. They work, from what I've seen here, they work in two different sectors, maybe more, but they work in the clothing industry. They are working to protect brands from counterfeiting. Now, I don't know if they're using secret stitching or they've got some invisible ink or what they're doing for clothes, but they're also working with plastics, recycling plastics, marking the plastics and giving it a history in these markings so we know where it came from, where it's going, how many times it's been used. SMX is able to offer players along the value chain access to its marking, tracking, measuring, and digital platform technology to transition more successfully to a low carbon economy. That is why SMX decided to find a new way to unlock knowledge, to help counter the lack of transparency and create a system where bad actors have nowhere to hide. With augmented materials, you can know the granular detail of the material, its provenance, its purity, its integrity. That way, transparency can be built in and industry can gain the intelligence it needs to work in smarter and more protective ways, linking parts of the value chain and enabling use, reuse, and reuse again to realize the potential of materials. So they are marking plastics, and this is a big market. I'm sure they're probably going to pull away from clothing, but they are marking plastics now so that we can actually track where these plastics are coming from and where they are going. And ultimately, it's supposed to help us with our carbon activity. Now, they've got a lot of news. And what I want to do here is I'm not going to dive into any of this news. I'm going to let you do that because of our time constraints. But I want you to see how broad their technology is, how far they are spreading into all these different sectors. I'm all the way back here to September, where the company had closed a $5.3 million private placement. That's not a public offering. That's some big whale that came in and bought a whole bunch of shares, 5.3 million of them. So we see people do believe in this company. All right, let's take a look at what they are doing. The company and Fingo enter into a collaboration mandate to develop a joint physical to digital platform service to enhance natural rubber industry's ability to report on sustainable and ethical supply chains. They're going to watch rubber like we're watching plastic. The SMX technology can solve the first mile challenge for global chain commodities. We're always hearing about the last mile being worked on. They're working on the first mile, whatever that is. New California law accelerates SMX technology to scale sustainability efforts across the U.S. and globally. California's LA County's Pepsi company case demonstrates potential for SMX tech in sustainable compliance over penalties. I do remember hearing something about a PepsiCo contract. We don't have time to dive into that right now. In November, at the beginning of the month, SMX and Fingo again enter into a collaboration mandate to develop a joint and physical to digital platform service to enhance mining industry's ability to report on sustainable and ethical supply chains. Now we're getting into mining. That's a completely different sector here. True Gold empowering the gold industry to new levels of transparency and verification that is both tangible and digital. Now they are working with gold. So we've gone from clothing to plastics to rubbers to mining materials to gold. So they are spreading out and they're getting into high expensive commodities now. So this definitely needs some more due diligence. We don't have time to go through all of this, but you can see how their technology is broad right now. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Way up there. Wow. More than 10 times. She's normally doing 2.6 million shares a day. Today she did almost 30 million. Share structure for the company. What? Oh my God. I'm going to presume this is correct. Now, this was July of 2024. Something may have occurred between now and then, but it says we have less than 1 million shares on the market. Just about 500,000. Now, when you're on the major exchange, the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, they have a minimum criteria for everything. How many shareholders you have, market value, equity, how many shares are in the float. You can't have less than 1.5 million. Matter of fact, they just changed the rules for doing reverse stock splits. We've had a lot of companies that have gone through reverse stock splits to get their price back up over $1. And when they do the reverse stock splits, they end up being under 1 million shares. So both the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ said you cannot break another rule trying to fix one. So if this is what happens, they're not going to be allowed to do a reverse stock split, and they're going to end up down on the OTC. So I'd be keeping my eye out for that. So right now, it appears we have got a super duper low float. Now, what was the amount of shares we moved today? 2930 million, and we've got 500,000 shares. If that's correct, that means every share had to sell is it 60 times? Oh my God, 60 times today. That is supply and demand issues right there. I'm going to be interested in seeing what this chart looks like. Let's take a look at the market cap. Well, with that few shares, you take the shares and you multiply the price. That gives you your market cap. I'm sure that's under the minimum criteria. Absolutely. We're down there under 250,000. I would not be surprised if this company gets some letters from the NASDAQ. Now, we've got a bunch of 6Ks here, and I've gone through these, and most of them are about a shareholder meeting. One is about the news, and 3 of them are about a shareholder meeting. They were going to have it, and then they rescheduled, and now they're rescheduling again. I don't know why. So that's everything we've got for SMX, and Taylor is not here, so I'm doing the charting. I always like to have someone else do the charting for you because you see my charting all the time. This gives you a chance to see someone else's, and every single person charts differently. No 2 people chart the same. Each of us sees something different. And when you watch someone else, you pick up a little bit here and a little bit there. That's why it's good to watch live streaming events where people are charting. It is amazing what you can learn just by watching somebody else. So we are taking a look at ticker SMX. And let's see, I'm on the 5-minute. Let's go way back. Let's go all the way to the year. Let's see what we had here. God, geez. Well, you can see by our 200-day MA here, she was way up before a year. I'm not going to go all the way that far back. Now, God, really? I'm looking for a reverse stock split here. Obviously, they had one. I don't know what it was, but we've got a high here of $83 a year ago. I'm not buying it. I don't think this company was ever at $83. I mean, it might have been. I may be wrong here, but I think the reverse stock split kicked the price up. A reverse stock split used to just kick the price up from that day forward, but now they multiply the whole chart. So if they did a 1 in 50, I don't know what they did, but if they did a 1 in 50 reverse stock split, it would kick the entire chart up all the way back to its very beginning by 50 times. So if there was a day where the high was $1, it's going to read it was $50 that day now. And it'll be like that forever and ever. I have no clue why they do that. It is stupid to me. It's wrong information. It's disinformation. I don't think it should be allowed. New traders come on the market a year from now. They have no clue. They look and say, oh my God, this stock was at $83 back when. No, it never was. And our low, I'm going to trust this. That says 18 cents. So without moving any of those lines, let's just come on down to our 6-month, 4-hour. All right, I'm going to move these lines. These are how I trade, folks. I can't get into a trade and out of a trade without my supports and resistances. This tells me where the price is most likely to slow down, stop, fall backwards. So I definitely use those lines. So as you can see, over the last 6 months, we've been in a downtrend from $22, it says, all the way down to 18 cents. Holy cow. There has to be a reverse stock split in there somewhere. But because they don't show us a big old green bar anymore, I don't know where it would have been. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at flat. We had a big drop here back on October 25th. She went from $2.15 down to 37. I don't know if that was the reverse split. I'm so confused with these splits these days. But she stuck down here for a very, very long time, not doing anything, dribbling just a little bit. And then right here yesterday, we did have a pop. She went from 19 cents up to 77 cents. You can't quibble about that. That's a 300% jump right there. She came back down and she's sitting on top of her 9-day MA right now. Our oscillators, easier to read if I back up. Our PPO is climbing right now, ever so gently, but our MACD is curving over and down as you would expect with all of this downtrend, and our RSI is falling, which makes sense. Let's come on down to our 1 hour, 20 day. Well, this is concerning. Whenever I see a price not jump when the 200-day MA finally gets to it and starts to level out, I feel something's wrong here. And something was wrong for a real long time. Now, I honestly don't know why this jumped, but we had that big jump yesterday. She's come back down. And, well, when you see a stock that's been laying flat like this for a long time, takes a jump and then comes back down, you kind of feel she's going to start laying down here again. Right now, we're still over the 200. She was under the 200 all this time. She's over her 200 haul and she's over the 50, but she's under the 9. That's the crucial part here. You got to be on top of the 9 if you want to climb. She's underneath it right now. All of our oscillators, they are falling ever so gently, but they are on a descent. 5-day, 15-minute, all of our MAs are on top of the price. Every single one except the 200, thank God. But the 200 I can see is just getting weak. It's just starting to roll right now. And our oscillators are not showing any strength. Everything is very, very calm. Looks to me, just in my opinion, looks to me like she's going to settle on this 200. And that's the best I think we can hope for. She was underneath the 200 down here. She's lifted herself up to a different level. And now she's probably going to lay on top of the 200. Now, they've got a lot going on. They're putting a lot of news out there. Anytime it could pop on a piece of news. But she isn't holding her value. For all that the company's doing, she just isn't holding her value. Did we look at the money? You know what? I don't think we looked at the money, did we? I'm going back. If this thing will take me back. Did we look at the money? I think we skipped that. We did. Come on, folks. Where's my tailor to keep me in line? All right, as you can see, we have nothing annually. They're not making any money yet on the annual basis. They're not making any money on the quarterly basis. We've got no revenues. We do have some money in the bank, not much, 168,000. That's not 168. We got to add 3 zeros to any of these numbers. Total assets is 51 million. That's pretty good. And our liabilities is only about 40 million. So we are holding stockholder equity here. So the company's got about $11-12 million in stockholder equity, but they're not making any money. For all of their technology, for all of that news we just read, who's doing business with them? Where is the business? If you're doing all that, where's the money? That's my biggest concern. And that's the problem with a lot of these penny stocks. I don't know why they aren't making revenues if they've got hot technology and they're everywhere. We saw this company was in different states, going global. But where's the money? All right, let me jump on back now and see what you guys are talking about. See if I've done anything wrong here. Oh, let's see. Worksport, is that something too? Oh, WKSP, that was jumping around today. This is the company that makes the truck beds for pickup trucks. And they make soft one, hard ones, and they make a solar one now so that you can gather energy while you're driving around. And soon they'll have them so that they can hook up to the electric pickup trucks and actually help them gain power. Tanks, what about TTO? I haven't looked at TTO in a long time. Hey, Thebes, good to see you, buddy. All right, we're going to get that comment out of there. I remembered that. We're going to push this button. I remembered that. I'm on a roll. All right, our next stock. This is a stock most of you are probably familiar with, but we don't talk about very often. This is Cooler, K-U-L-R, Cooler Technology Group. Cooler came to us by way of the Underdog. Says here they got lots of news and we got a special deal they just increased. So Cooler, she is an American company. She's out of Texas. She finished the day on an up note. She was at $1.32 and hit almost 16% today. She is on the New York Stock Exchange. So Cooler, shoot, I wish we had a lot more time because this needs a lot more due diligence. This company works with a lot of stuff. Cooler Technology develops, manufactures, licenses next generation carbon fiber thermal management technologies for batteries and electronic systems, leveraging the company's roots in developing breakthrough cooling solutions for NASA deep space missions, backed by strong intellectual property portfolio. Cooler enables leading aerospace, electronics, and electric vehicle manufacturers to make their products cooler, lighter, and safer. Now, I've got some information here. Let me see if I can jump back. I would like to show you the pictures. They've got products, but these top pictures just won't come in. They've got different types of products that hook up to the batteries to monitor the battery to make sure it's healthy. They have got these cellular carbon fibers that go in between the cells of a lithium battery. A lithium battery is made up of a whole bunch of lithium cells, and one of them can explode and create a chain reaction. Boom, 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 boom. And then you got this huge fire. Well, they put these carbon fibers between them to contain that. If that one cell bursts, it doesn't affect the rest. They've even got an envelope that has been approved by the Postal Service, I believe, and a lot of different airlines. You can put your lithium batteries inside there. If it does blow up, literally blows up, that bag can contain the heat and the explosion. But they've also got a new product here I see. Very interesting one. I was unaware of this. They call it Cooler Vibe. We reduce vibration in current and next generation technology in hundreds of applications, including aviation, transportation, renewable energy, manufacturing, industrial performance racing, autonomous aerial drone applications. Vibrations, who knew? So they've got a lot of different technologies, and obviously these are going to be being used in all types of sectors. So what sort of information we got here? Well, again, we got a lot of news, and the news gives you an idea of what the company's doing. We're going to headline it. I'm going to let you dive into it. Going back here to September, the company secures a $2.4 million U.S. Army battery contract. In October, the company's Xero Vibe technology lands a licensing partnership for $2.3 million. They better have some money on the books. Cooler Technology was awarded a key defense contract for leading missile program. Cooler designs for small modular nuclear fusion reactors. Have you heard about this? Private nuclear reactors that people, companies can own? And they've got technology for it. That sounds a little scary to me. Cooler was awarded a U.S. Navy contract to develop high-temperature internal short-circuit cells for enhanced battery safety in critical applications. That was November 25th. At the beginning of December, Cooler announces immediate availability of NASA-certified M35A battery cells for the JSC 2793 pack. I've been waiting for that. I have no idea what it is. And then the piece of news that came out today, which may have got this thing running, actually it came out yesterday. Cooler announces Bitcoin treasury strategy. There have been a lot of companies doing this, folks. And the first couple that announced it really ran. When Bitcoin started to run, people started realizing it was smarter to put your assets into Bitcoin, which could gain value. Your money sitting in the bank may be getting 2, 3, 4% if you're lucky, but you're probably getting better than that with Bitcoin. So they tell us here, oh, and I lost my highlights, but I know what I need to read. They tell us here that the company today announced its board of directors had agreed to include Bitcoin as a primary asset in its treasury program. With over $12 million in cash on the balance sheet today, and with any future cash surplus, Cooler is committed to allocating up to 90% of its surplus cash to Bitcoin. 90% of 12 million. You know, that's, I don't know, that's over 10 million. So yeah, this is a big piece of news here. And as long as Bitcoin keeps growing, and that's what Bitcoin to me is, I don't see it as an investment. I mean, if you wanted to double your money, what's Bitcoin got to do? It's got to go to 200,000. Now, in saying that, I've seen stuff because of that last halving of Bitcoin and how few Bitcoins are left to mine, and the value of those Bitcoins. It costs a lot more now to get a Bitcoin out of the system. They say that this could go up to $450,000 a coin. Well, anybody who has their treasury is going to be growing. All the Bitcoin companies that are mining Bitcoin, their piles of Bitcoins are just getting worth more and more. So that is probably what has got the stock jumping right now. I don't know if it's going to keep it running. Everybody's been doing this here recently. I must have seen at least 100 companies that have moved over to Bitcoin. Some have jumped, some have not. I think I just seen one that went to Ethereum. Well, that's what's going on. I got one more piece of news here, which is big. This is one of the filings that they've got. It's the only one I thought was interesting. The company increased the maximum aggregate offering amount of shares that the company is selling to Craig-Hallum Capital Group, dated July 3rd. Originally, this company, Craig-Hallum, was going to get $20 million worth of shares. They are now going to get $46 million worth of shares. Whoa! That is a huge investment, folks. And you know they've done their due diligence. So when you see people investing that sort of money, it should reassure you that your investment is probably going to be safe too. Now, of course, this guy isn't scalping. These people are getting in for the long run. You don't put in $46 million for a day scalp or a week swing. No, they're in it for the long run. So what was the relative volume around Cooler today? Down. She dropped from about 34 million down to 26 million. And still, she was up almost 16% today. Share structure. Outstanding share count, we got about 214 million. That's interesting. We can trust the outstanding share count. That just came in about a month ago. We cannot trust these. These came in 2022, and obviously they're wrong. You got to add these two together, and it is supposed to, oh, get back there, big boy. It's supposed to add up to the outstanding share count. Well, that's only 106 million. So this is wrong. I don't know what the insiders own. I have no clue what the float is. It isn't going to be any higher than the outstanding share count of 214 million. And if this is any indication, the insiders are holding a lot. I'm going to presume they're still holding a lot. So we could have a real decent float here. I'm not going to call it a low float, but it's going to be a lot less than 214 million. Market cap, we're at about 245 million. Financials, are they making money? Oh, yeah. Look at it, folks. This is picking up momentum in a big way. 4 years ago, we were at 623,000. At the end of 2023, we were just under 10 million. That is a huge jump in revenues. And as you can see, the profit margin is continually growing. They're at about 33% right here. Quarterlies, see what we got. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, they're kind of rolling around here, but we're on a high note at 3.1, 3.2 million. And they got to keep 2.2 million in the last 3 months. Balance sheet for the company. We got just under $1 million in the bank, about 12 million in assets. Liabilities are less, 7 million. So we've got positive stockholder equity here of about $5 million. Strong revenues, strong profit. Fundamentals are looking good. Disclosures, well, as I said, I already went through these. We could go through them, but look, I'm going to let you do that if you're really interested. All right, so let's go take a look at Cooler now. Everything good here? Yeah, all right. I don't see any comments saying you can't see me or hear me. Well, of course I'm gun shy. I've done this like 6 out of 7 times, so I got to make sure. Wow, lots of lines. Oh, I keep forgetting to put my lines up. I can take my lines off, but if I hit Control Z, it puts them right back for me. And I got to put these up manually. Every single line is being done manually. Control Z puts them all up at one time. Will someone remind me to do that, please? Please? All right, this is Cooler. Cooler technology. It's going back to our, let's just go back 6 months, 4 hours. Whoa, that don't look good. Let's check the yearly. Wow. So she's running flat, really. I mean, she's been going downhill, but she's jumped up. She's come down. She really isn't making headway anywhere for everything this company's been doing, the way their revenues have been growing year over year. they're not showing a whole lot of impact here. But what is happening so slowly is that we have a trend change happening right now. Look at our 200. It is falling here. Right in this area where it's bobbling around, it is flat. Somehow she managed to keep the strength up, and right here, it is all starting to pull up. Every single MA has just crossed that 200, and when is she breaking out? Wow, she's flat and turning up. So we've got a breakout now, and everything looks like she is changing trend. All of our oscillators are climbing. On our yearly chart, we are in the overbought. We've been in the overbought for days, many days. Let's see, volume is low right now. We are still above our 9-day. Always watch for a dip back down to the 9-day at least. At least, folks, when the price starts getting too high, it has to bounce off something. The price does not have wings. It cannot fly. It's a kangaroo. It bounces, and it'll bounce on anything underneath it. As long as this 9-day is close to it, it'll normally just keep riding that 9-day. So I would expect this. I'd be watching for it to come down to the 9. Right now, it's at $1.05, but of course, it's going to be moving through the day. Let's come on down to that 6-month, 4-hour view. Not a whole lot of difference there. Going sideways, had our bounce again. You can see we have got a trend change happening right now. No volume to talk about. All this time, it's coming into the picture now. Our oscillators really had no volume, no activity. It's all happening right now. So now is a good time to be looking at this stock, obviously. So we've got an uptrend started here. She is riding on her 50-day for the most part. Right here, her 50 and her 200 haul. We had a nice jump here 4 days ago from 80 cents up to $1.96. Holy cow. That's like 150% run there. But she started off down here at 32 cents. So you're looking at almost, 600% run there in like 5 days. Now, she has pulled back. She has broken through every single MA here, was underneath her 9, and right now she's fighting to get back up. I see our 200 haul, which is very important. Our 200 haul, which I'm sure most of you don't use, is just like the 200 MA. It's got just as much strength, just as much authority. The difference, the 200 haul takes the current price into consideration. It has a relationship with the price because it considers it. You can watch the 200 haul help the price to move. Right now, it is starting to turn up. I think it's going to kind of pull this price up right now and give it a lurch up to where it needs to be. All of our oscillators right now are all turning up. They're all on their belly turning up right now. 5-day, 15-minute. So we're going sideways. We're getting on top of the 200 right now. She is on top of the 200 haul. You can see she bounced on that right there, got on her 50. This is a perfect setup for me. We have got the price between both 200s. Price is sitting on top of the 50. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. All 3 strong MAs are there. And normally when you have that set up, the price will normally push right to and through the 200. And that's what's going on right now. And our oscillators show we now have strength coming into the picture at this very moment. I would be watching Cooler. Cooler should be on your watch list, folks. This looks like it could run. She has a support and resistance right here at about $1.38. She is crossing over the 200. I would wait for it to get above this before I got in. She's probably going to test that 200. Even if she gets over this, there's a very strong likelihood she'll come back down and she would jump up and down on that 200 to make sure it's strong. But I would look for an entry up there. And let me see. I would look for our first exit to be at about $1.48. So if you got into this at $1.40 and got out $1.48, you'd make 8 cents on a scalp. And you say, well, that's nothing. Well, scalps, if you win them, and that's a probable move there, chances of it going from here to there and stopping are minimal. It likes to move the entire distance. You see that? It goes the entire distance. That's called a probable move. So it may be a small gain, but it has very little risk. And if you can get 10 of these a day, 8 of these a day, look, we got people over at Penny Boys who are trading 20 trades a day. I'm not lying. These trades only last 5-10 minutes. You get in, you get out, you take your little gains. Sometimes they're 8 cents, sometimes they're 30 cents. And if you're doing 1,000 shares for whatever stock, you're going to make $10 for every penny it moves. So that would be $80 right there. Nothing to sneeze at when you put it on all your other wins at the end of the day. All right, so let's go take a look now and see what you guys are talking about. Let's make sure that I hit all my buttons when I come back into the game. Mark, bet pool. You funny boy. You're funny. Yeah, I know. So far, so good. John Hall, how you doing? Glad to have you here. No, they don't have tanks there in the medical street. Funny. All right, I'm glad to see you guys are talking amongst yourselves, and it doesn't look like Taylor's going to make it. I was really hoping she would. Okay, we've got more all set up here, folks, so let me jump on in, hit all my buttons. Right, yes. Next stock we are taking a look at, we're at 436. We're doing good. We are taking a look at Bitsy. This is Bots Inc. Bots Inc. came to me by way of MBS. Now, he had mentioned Humble, HMBL, and I don't doubt it. If you didn't notice Humble today, folks, as I said earlier, she ran. She was the jolly green giant vine. She went from earth to heaven. That was an unbelievable run before she ran back. Made some people a lot of good money today. But he did choose BTZI, and I was hoping to actually look at Humble, but I'm glad. I like BTZI better. You're going to like the news we're going to take a look at here. So Bots Inc., this is a company in America, in a U.S. territory. She's in Puerto Rico. She finished today almost at 14 cents, and she was up almost 9%. Now, this is on the OTC, the bottom tier, the pinks. The pinks are the riskiest stocks that you can trade, folks. And the bottom line for that is they don't have validated information. We don't get filings with pinks. You don't get financials. I mean, they give you what they call disclosures, but they're just receipts and tallies. It's not like they've been looked at by a CPA. You can't use them to measure the company up. They're not fundamentals. So that's the problem down here. You're taking the management's word for everything. And pretty much their only communication is through social media or news presses. And I got to tell you, folks, the first few years I was trading, I was a penny stock hound, and I just trusted their news presses. I figured there had to be laws. Well, you got to read them very carefully. They put a lot of ifs, ands, and buts into them. And there's a lot of these companies that put out hyped news. It just never comes. So we've got to be very careful. Take all the information with pinks with a grain of salt. The longer you're in them, the more risk you're taking, folks. I have lost a lot of money on pinks. They have been the worst stocks I have ever invested in. Don't invest in them. Play them. Investing in them is very dangerous. So the first thing I noticed about this was this right here. I don't get this on any other stock. Last verified 2019. See, we've got a transfer agent verified, but we don't have a verified profile. It hasn't been verified since 2019. Yeah, that's a little concerning. So Bots, this company is a diversified company developing and servicing blockchain solutions and robotics for its clientele. Now, there's a lot of information, but this right here pretty much blocks off what it is they do. I'll let you do more research on them. Bots Inc. is an international information technology company focusing on fintech, that's financial technology, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. The following is an example of just some of the services the company offers. They build and program turnkey Bitcoin mining operations from start to finish. They repair existing systems and optimize operations for mining insurance and backup all purposes. They provide franchising opportunities for Bitcoin ATM kiosks for payment applications in various settings. So obviously they're working with Bitcoin. That is all blockchain. They're working with insurance companies. The company was founded in 2010 and was formerly known as MSIG. Maybe you remember hearing that company. The company rebranded to its current name, Bots. Bots harnesses existing and new blockchain platforms to develop and roll out new tech solutions. The company offers technical development services and creates new opportunities using blockchain technologies. So we read this, you don't see anything about robots here, nothing, but the robots do come into the picture. Diving on over here to the news. I've gone back to September. Bots reports financial growth of its Bitcoin ATM subsidiary. I didn't know they had an ATM subsidiary. Bots Inc. reports Bullet Blockchain Inc.'s $1 million in revenue for the first quarter of 4, up from 2023, with total assets rising to 17 million. The next piece of news came out, wow. So that came out in September, and they're reporting first quarters. That was a little slow. Here at the end of November, the company announced acceptance of Scott Adams' offer for revolutionary AI humor development. Now, I want to jump into this. This is the one that made me happy that I came over here. Good, it's still highlighted. All right, this is a very interesting piece of news because this is a breakthrough in a technology that nobody has touched on to yet, and you know should be there. On September 6th of this year, Scott Adams, I don't know who he is, tweeted something on X. For $1 billion, I will train your AI to write humor. If my method doesn't work, no charge. It's funny because the price is reasonable. The first funny robot will rule. So this company responded to that. In response, bots engaged with the offer by responding with this acceptance. Acceptance. We, Bots Inc., hereby accept your offer to train our AI to write humor. Look for details of this acceptance in our upcoming news release. Further, on September 7th of this year, Adams reiterated his offer, reinforcing the potential collaboration. Here it is. Under the terms proposed, Adams would receive 10 million preferred shares of Bot subsidiary, each valued at $100, totaling $1 billion in face value, reflecting the confidence in the venture's success. Should an agreement be reached, the new entity would be named Adams Pal Inc., focusing solely on the creation and commercialization of humorously intelligent robots. This subsidiary could be spun off to Bots Inc. shareholders, potentially listing on a major stock exchange, thereby enhancing shareholder value through the new revenue streams and stock appreciation and free dividends. We would get dividends for that. I am excited to merge my understanding of humor with the cutting-edge technology of Bots Inc. We aim to create not just a robot, but a companion that can genuinely entertain and connect with humans on a deeper level. This is not just about technology. It's about creating joy and laughter. Folks, this to me is amazing. There's a lot of loneliness in the world. There really is, folks. For all of the shortcuts we've created for communicating, people are isolated more and more and more. I don't get out near as much as I want. I have a very healthy digital life, but my physical world, they don't see me very often, honestly. So I get it. This could be entertaining for a lot of people. Let me see. I had one more piece of news here. Yes, this is a very interesting piece of news, folks. Now, I don't know if this is the same coin that I've been hearing about. I've been getting emails about a cryptocurrency based on President Trump, right? Well, check this out. Bots Inc. relaunches the Prez token, PRES, as a free gift to be distributed to every U.S. citizen. You heard me right. The company, a leader in blockchain innovation, in collaboration with its subsidiary, has announced an exciting initiative to distribute 100 PRES cryptocurrency tokens known as President Trump's to every U.S. citizen. What they're basically doing is seeding. If you want to buy and sell something, you have to have somebody who owns it to sell it. So just get them out there, give them away for free, and create your market. Additionally, Wizzy shareholders, as of December 3rd, 2024, there's your cutoff date, will receive 1,000 Prez tokens each, pending board approval and legal review. Now, they got a lot of information here about all of this, including how to claim those tokens. So if you're interested, right here is your information. No, don't leave. You can go look at it later. They're not going to remove the news press. All right, let's go see what the relative volume was for the company today for Wizzy. Oh my God. I guess people want a free Prez token. Now, a token is a little different than cryptocurrency. A token normally supports an isolated section of a company. Say, for example, Amazon had a token for their drone sector. They create a little business for drone delivery, and you can buy tokens for it. Well, Amazon could hit the barrel, fall really, really hard. But if the drone company was doing good business, that drop would not affect your token whatsoever because it's only based on the drone portion of Amazon, not the entire company. So we've got a huge jump here going from about 1 million shares over the last 30 days to just a little over 4 million today. Share structure. What is it? Oh, God. We got a lot of shares here. 1.6, 1.7 billion shares are on the market. But actually, there's only about 500 million on the market because the insiders have got the lion's share. 1.1 billion shares they own of the company. We get the other 500 million. Market cap is currently about 21 million. Financials. Are they making any money? No. Not for the last, whoa, where's 2022? Where's 2023? We got nothing here. What about over here? We got nothing here. I don't know what's going on with the financials. And even the balance sheet's only going up to 2022. Let's take a look over here. Now we are on the, yeah, we're on the pinks. Now, if they don't file financials in a timely manner, they'll be thrown down to the expert market and they'll stay on the expert market forever until they get their financials caught up. And if you are in that stock when they go down there, you're stuck. You can't buy or sell your share. Well, you can sell your shares, but normally a stock, this one's at like 1.3 cents. If this was to go down to the expert market, it'd probably go down to 0001 or 401s, and you're allowed to sell. You want to sell it at that price if you bought it at this price? Nah. So if you get stuck in expert market, you're there until they get their financials caught up. So what do we got here? We should have disclose. What's 2022? I don't see any disclosures here. This is a little concerning, folks. And it's been years, right? They said 2019. No, it doesn't matter where they're from. Puerto Rico, China, New Jersey. What is this? Financials. No, we've got some good information here, but I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. A financial. This can be a big, big issue. All of a sudden, we could get a news press out here that says they're going down to the expert market or they're in hot water. I don't know why we don't see one yet. So I like what the company's doing. Let's go take a look at that chart for Wizzy now. Where are we at? We are at 4:45. We're doing okay. All right, let's pull this back a year. She's been on a slow, dingy downtrend all this time, hanging around the 200, pulled away from it for a couple months, came back up, but really hasn't been doing anything until here recently. She was at about 0025 and went up to 017. You're looking at 400, 500% jump right there. She came back down, landing on the 9-day. Right? Just sitting on that 9-day, and she is climbing. Now, our concern here isn't that the price is too far from the 9, but that the 9 is too far from the 20. All of the MAs and the price all have rubber bands attached to them. And if they pull too far away, they snap back. So we've got to watch everything. We can't let anything get too far away. All of our oscillators are looking good. Everything is still climbing with a lot of strength in the picture. 6-month, 4-hour view. Not much to look at here. She got on top of her 200 when she was down there at about, about 002 and just slowly been climbing until she got hot, and she's still looking really good here. Everything is starting to pull up. But again, look at that spread between that 9-day and 20. That's getting a bit scary. Everything looks hot here. There is nothing to complain about on the 4-hour chart. 1-hour chart, that's looking good. This is looking better. We were on our 9-day. The 9-day settled down to the 20. We are sitting there on the 20. We're not too far from these. Remember, everything has to stay within a gap. We're within the gap range there. Volume is starting to fall away right now. Technicals are starting to cool off, but our RSI is climbing. Even though we've got a red bar here, our RSI is actually climbing. 5-day, 15-minute, she's going sideways. She took that nice run. She's going sideways right now. Let's see if I can get a support in there. We've got a support right about there. Yeah, right in this area. She hit her head. She's got up on top of it. She's fighting right now. Here's our 200 MA. There's our 200 haul. She is in between them, but I like to see the red one on the top, not on the bottom. I mean, not in this situation. This looks like she could dip further. She looks like she could come down maybe to about, yeah, she could come back down underneath a penny. It is possible, folks. I would expect her to start climbing again. She's got a lot of good news, but the big question mark is the financials. Where are her financials? It has been years since we've seen one, and they say right up there they have not got a profile on her since 2019. So if you're going to get into this stock, do it for a short time, folks. Don't get in it for a long hold. Don't even get in it for a month. Honestly, I would just look for a nice breakout play when she dips and she has a piece of news. I get in, get out, take my gains. Until we see financials, this is a little scary to me. All righty, let's jump on back to the conversation. What are you guys talking about over here? Bitsy. News about decentralized AI, autonomous agents to distribute one. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Absolutely. I find that interesting between the humorous robot and this Prez token. I mean, you know, they're riding on the back of President Trump, and I think he's going to be great for the market. The first 100 days he gets in office, you better really be paying attention to the market, because when he starts saying certain sectors are going to get money, get grants, or he's going to take away, he might even mention a couple companies. They will run. Where are we at? We're at 552 or 452. No, that doesn't count. That's not a mistake. So we have got Bior. Bior is the next stock we are taking a look at. Bior comes to me by way of, oh, I didn't write down, who brought this one to me? John? Let me see if I can see Bior over here. No, I don't see Bior. All right, I did see it. I got it. I got you locked in. This is an early stage biotech company, which means they probably aren't making any revenues. Biora Therapeutics is a U.S. company based out of California. Had a hard day. She finished at $1.30 with a little over 9% drop. She is a penny stock on the major exchange, the NASDAQ. So as I said, she is a biotech that is developing therapies to improve patients' lives. Now, this is an interesting biotech, probably unlike most you've looked at. The company creates innovative smart pills designated for targeted drug delivery to the GI tract and systemic needle-free delivery of biotherapeutics. I don't know if this is for heartburn or what. They've got a video here. I just froze frame one. This is a mechanical pill. It has drugs inside it, and it's protected from dissolving. It does have dissolvable features in it, but it's protected until it gets all the way down to your tract, wherever it's going. Then it actually opens up and it sprays, it mists out all of your medicine. And then you just poop out the pill. The pill comes out in your poo and you got no problems. This is a technology that they can use on a lot of different drugs. They have created this. I've seen this with another company, I do believe. But This is not yet approved. And that's the big deal here, folks. They tell us here in one of their pieces of news, they are testing this in advanced animal model plans in Q4. Right now, they're doing this, as well as getting an extension until December 9th to regain compliance with the NASDAQ listing requirements for market value. Now, this is a big problem. Market value is based on the price of the stock to how many shares you have. Multiply it, you got yourself your market value. Well, you fix that normally by just putting more shares on the market. Public offering can fix that. But that isn't what they said they're going to do. So we've got two things down here I want to share with you. First, we are working with our note holders and investors to potentially increase the company's capitalization with the goal of maintaining our NASDAQ listing status after December 9th. So I didn't see anything here about putting more shares on the market. They've got something else that they're working on. And they tell us that they have presented phase 1 clinical trial data for their NavCap targeted oral delivery platform, the BT600. And they talk more and more about it down here. But what I'm pointing out is it's phase 1. Phase 1 means, is it safe? Can you take it and it's not going to hurt you, kill you, give you chronic hiccups or something like that? Phase 1 normally takes about a year. If you get through that, then you go to phase 2, which is a phase to prove how well your drug works for what you say it does. And that can take up to 3 years. When you get through phase 2, you go to phase 3, which is competitive. You put your drug against anybody who's got a drug like yours. I don't know if they have any competitors. I don't know. That can last anywhere from 3 to 5 years, depending how many competitors there are. If there aren't any, you can get fast drug designation. You can get orphan drug designation from the FDA, and it'll move your drug through faster. But we have only gotten through phase 1. So we've got a long ways to go before this thing hits the market. But that's what we're dealing with. And the last piece of news, let's see here. All right, this is the notice of delisting from the NASDAQ because of their market cap. The NASDAQ notified the company that for the last 30 consecutive business days ended December 11th, 2023, the company's market value for listed securities closed below the $50 million mark threshold for continued listing on the NASDAQ. And they've got till, when did they say? December 9th. So we got 4 days that they've got to get this fixed. So let's take a look at some of this information. There's your market cap right there, 6.4 million. It's supposed to be at 50 million? 50 million? That's a lot of extra shares, or that's a lot of extra price. I don't know how they're going to fix this, folks, but they got 4 days to do this. We've got 4.5 million shares outstanding. That is a low float. I don't even know what the float is, but anything under 10 million is a low float. I'm sure the insiders own something. Got to subtract that. That's going to give us even a lower float. What was the relative volume around Bior today? Oh, she's still under the radar, isn't she? She's been doing about 110,000 shares on the major exchange. That is definitely under the radar. Today, she did a mere 164,000 shares. Financials. I don't know if this is all them or not, but right now at the end of 2023, all they had was $4,000. That wasn't enough to pay their management. I don't know that this has anything to do with their product. It could be royalties. It could be them helping people just by talking to them because it didn't cost them anything. They got anything on the quarterly? Yeah, they do. They've actually been making some money from somewhere, but it's getting less and less. The last quarterly report, we had $32,000 that they made. What have they got on the balance sheets here? We got about 3.2 million in the bank, about 14 million in assets. Oh my God. Yeah, I guess a smart pill would take a lot of technology, wouldn't it? That is $121 million in liabilities, which means we are holding $106 million in deficit. You and me. We've been paying all the management. We've been paying for all of their research and development. And now it looks like we're paying for their phase trials. Whew. And we've got many years to go before they're going to be making any money. This doesn't look all that great to me right now. This would be one of those stocks you'd have to catch on a hot piece of news and just catch a bounce and get the heck out of. All right, I do believe that's everything, but we'll take a look at the disclosures just to make sure I didn't miss anything here. This 8K is the continued listing, which we just took a look at. There's their most recent financial. Not going to be any money stuff in there, but you can see how much they're spending. You can get in there and get a lot of information. You can see how much we're paying them. That's all in there as well. There's lots of information in there. It's not just about the financials. Okie doke. Let's go see what Bior looks like on the charts. Bior. God, is that loud. All right, kick this back to 1 year. We got a reverse stock split right there. This happened on October 18th. We had a 1 in 10 reverse stock split. So they had about 42 million. Now we're down to 4.2 million. Remember, the entire chart now has been multiplied by the ratio of that split. A 1 in 10 means every number on the chart is multiplied by 10. So this high here, our 52-week high at $19.90, was actually only $1.99. That was the real high on this day back in February on the 27th. From there, we've been in a downtrend, hitting a low here of $1.30 post reverse stock split. You can trust that number. It is real. As you can see, we were playing this at some point a while back. I've got a lot of supports and resistances drawn up there, primarily using my Fibonacci, but that's a whole nother story. Let's come on down to our 6-month, 4-hour view. Well, as you can see, it is a downtrend. It is a hard downtrend, and she's still in it. She keeps getting up near that 50-day MA. Our 200 is way up here. We keep hitting that 50-day MA. Is that a ghost? Ooh, the Wizards got ghosts. We hit our head on that 50-day MA. We've come down right over top of our 200 haul, which is trying to level off right now. God, if that 200 haul could just level off, it looks like it's going flat, we could get a smack off of this. And that smack could literally, it could push this stock all the way up to that 200. I have seen it happen before. So I'd be looking for a bounce off of this 200, off of this low bubble. Now, a low bubble can be a buy signal if the company has value, if they're making money, if they're generating revenues and got profit, if they got stockholder equity. You will normally see a bounce off of a low bubble pretty much immediately. So this is all sitting in a place for something to happen. We need to watch it right now. Our oscillators are all weak. Every single one of them is falling right now, not showing any strength at all. The 1-hour chart, well, you can see our downtrend, our price deep underneath it. She climbed right up to it here. God, did this look tempting right there. 200 haul underneath it, pushing up. 200 MA falling, price climbing. God, we missed it. What happened? Here she rejected it and she came back down. Right now, we are hoping that something's going to happen here. Oscillators show a lot of weakness. Whoa, RSI is just about to hit the basement floor. We are at 30.7 and 30 is ice cold. So she isn't looking too great right now, folks. Come on down to our 5-day, 5-minute. No, she's taken a fall from 211 down to $1.27 with all of the MAs pushing down. There's our 50, our 20, our 200 haul has gone purple. It's pushing down. Our price is underneath the 9, hitting that low. This isn't looking very optimistic at all, folks. It looks like she wants to come back down. And I don't think, let's go back. I just want to see here. There's nothing lower. That's a 52-week low. What about 3 years? That is a 3-year low. What about 5 years? At this point, my chart don't go back any more than 5 years unless I tell it to. I'd have to do that right now. But right now, we are looking like it's at an all-time low. Look at the high here, $287. So that means she was at $28 all the way back here in August of 2022. She was actually at $28 then, but not $287. So we're at an all-time low right now. She should bounce if she has any value. It is a good time to be putting this on your watch list right now. I don't see a lot except that she's got things going on. A funny robot, a Prez token. All of this is very interesting, but we need revenues. We need money. We need value. That's what'll get that low bubble back up. We are at 5:05 and I am doing good. Heck yeah. All right, where are we at? Yes, everything looks good. God, I always panic when I come to the end of the show here. Not that we're done yet, but this is normally when I see a mistake. So what do we got here? I'm looking over at our comments. Mark, make sure you hit the like button. You're darn tootin', folks. Hit that like button. And if you see a dollar sign down there, that's my tip jar. If you've gotten any good tips from me, if I said anything you like, if you like the beard, you can drop some money in my tip jar. I do take it. Absolutely. I'm not too proud because I work for free, basically, folks. I work for free all the time. So tips. I used to be a waiter, and I got to tell you, it was one of the best jobs I ever had. Having money in my pocket every day was good. But you know what I really liked about it? I was being thanked every day, multiple times by all my customers. Maybe not my boss, but he was only paying me $1.02 an hour. That's what it was when I was a waiter. My customers paid me 18, 20, 25% of whatever the bill was, and they thanked me. I loved that job. Okay, let's see here. I do believe that is all the stocks. Now, we had Humbo, we had DPLS that was talked about over here. Right there, DPLS was brought up. Humbo was brought up. Both of these are OTC stocks that took a jump today. Bior, let's see. Seeing if anything came up here while I've been on the show. I'm looking, folks. Really? You guys didn't put any tickers in? Okay, WKSP, is that something too? You know what? Benjamin, I'm going to look at WKSP. Looks like you're the only person that dropped a ticker in during the show. Bravo for you, buddy. Benjamin, WKSP. Let's go over there. I almost missed my button. You almost had me. Let me see if I can get rid of this. There we go. Okie dokie. WKSP. Let's just drop it in right here on top of Bior. WKSP, Worksport Limited. This is an American company based out of New York. Finished today at 66.2%. She was up 6.4% today. Uh-oh. She is on the major exchange, the NASDAQ. We've got a prohibited service provider over here. What is a prohibited service provider? Whenever you see something over there that you don't understand, click it. Very top thing that comes up is the definition. The prohibited service provider list includes attorneys, accountants, auditors, investor relations firms, and other service providers that have been convicted of criminal activity, are subject to SEC or penny stock bar, or OTC Markets Group has determined they cannot rely on their work. Attorneys that appear on this list may not provide attorney letters with respect to current information pursuant to OTC market. Now, who exactly it is, I don't know. The one thing I can check right there. Okay, there you go. It is their accounting person. There was one a while ago that a lot of companies had, and they all had this for a while. So they've got to get rid of this company and get a new company to come in, and that's going to fall off. They can fix this one. So, Worksport, what are they about? Well, in case you didn't know, this is the company that makes the beds, the covers for the beds of pickup trucks. They have soft vinyl ones or leather. I don't know which it is. They have hard ones that are really tough. And they've got solar panel ones that hook up to a battery, a battery, not charger, but it absorbs all the energy. And you can plug into it. It has a light on it. It does all sorts of things. And this company has been doing really good. They have had a heck of a lot of news from what I remember. Let's just start from one side and work over so I don't get confused. It happens very easily. So relative volume today is up. Look at that. She has been about 1 million shares a day over the last 30 days. Today we're up at 6.7 million, so we're up like 7 times her normal volume. Share structure for Worksport. That's a pretty decent share structure. Outstanding share count is about 33 million. No clue what the insiders own, so I don't know what the float is, except to say it won't be any higher than the outstanding share count. Market cap, we're at about 20 million right now. Is this company making money? Yeah, they are. And it's growing. It took a nice jump from 2022 to 2023, going to $1.5 million, but it cost them a lot. You got to pay for all the materials, shipping, everything. So they ended up at just under $250,000 for that 1.5 million. Quarterlies. Ooh, whoa. Now that's a growth, isn't it? We had 1.5 million for the entire year of 2023. The last quarter, we had 3.1 million. The quarter before that even beat the full year, 1.9 million. So, looking over the last 3, 4, 5, 6, we're like at $6 million now. So they are kicking butt on revenues. The profit isn't all that great, but they're making money now. Nothing wrong with that. Balance sheet for the company. We got 1.8 million in the bank, 24 million in assets. Yay! We're down to 8.5 million in liabilities. So we got positive stockholder equity of about 16 million, strong revenue growth. Profits are there. We would like more, but everything looks good on the fundamentals. Taking a look at the disclosures for the company. This is normally the last thing I do, but since we're here. We got a filing today. I wonder if this is what caused it to jump. Worksport to adopt cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and XRP for corporate treasury. That's the first one I've seen for XRP. Let me see what they say here. Worksport's board of directors has approved the purchase of up to $5 million in Bitcoin and XRP, limited to a maximum of 10% of our excess operational cash. Boom, there you go. XRP as well. I used to be in XRP. I sold it when I was trying to buy a house, and at that time, XRP was not allowed to be bought or sold in America. So I had to take it, go sell it in Europe, and convert my euros into dollars, and then bring that money home. Cryptocurrencies are so strange. So I guess it's allowed to be sold in America now, or are they investing in something that still isn't allowed to be sold in America? I have not kept up with cryptos, folks. I know it's hot, but God, I got enough going on with stocks. All right, let's take a look at the news. See what they've got going on over here. That's 2021. Always make sure you check the date. You find most of your current news down at the bottom for some silly reason. Worksport to adopt cryptocurrency. Worksport to present at prestigious ICR conference. Keep talking about the company. We like that. Worksport increases production capacity to meet growing sales demand. Let's see here. The company retains digital BD to investigate short selling activity. CEO reaffirms confidence with personal share purchase at 44 premium to market. So it sounds like we had an insider buy here from the CEO, buying at 44% higher than the price on the market. Wow, that's a big deal there. Company reports significant 581% year-over-year revenue growth in Q3. You better believe it. So that's the big news here. The company is doing more and more business, and I'm sure this electric solar panel cover they got is really going to start selling more and more, because a lot of people use their pickup trucks in construction, and you go out to rural sites where you don't have power. This gives you power. Their box, your solar thing, this gives you power while you're out there. So I can see this being a hot product. Anything else I missed here? I think I covered everything. Yes, we did. So let's go take a look at WKSP while I've still got a voice. This is one of the reasons I like Taylor. I lose my voice at the end of this show. Let's see here. Okay. Looking at the yearly chart for WKSP, we've been in a downtrend. I don't see any purple bubbles, so I don't think we've had any reverse stock splits. Can't swear to it. We have a high here of $16.40. Wow. How many years back is that? That ain't one freaking year. That's 5 years. 5 years. God almighty. What were they doing 5 years ago? Probably nothing. And it was worth that much. I'm drooling. All right, work sport. A year ago, we were at $1.66. That's our 52-week high. Our 52-week low, that hit in April of this year, 36 cents. Bouncing off of that immediately, right? Isn't that what I said? You bounce off of these strong low bubbles, 52-week, 3-year, 5-year. If the company has value, you see a bounce immediately because that's a flashing for sale sign. It's a buying special. So this jumped immediately from 36 cents up to $1.10, close to 300% gains there. Came back down, bounced off of our 200 haul at 50 cents, went up to 90 cents, fell back down here to 38 cents. She's gotten on top of the 200. She's meandering now. She's trying to change her trend. That's what it looks like to me. We have our 200 haul right there on the bottom of the price. The top of the price is at the 200 MA. This is looking like it's ready for a breakout. Lots of volume came in today, and all of our oscillators are starting to climb. RSI, MACD, PPO, everything is starting to turn on our yearly chart. I'm liking this. Take a look at our 6-month 4-hour view. We've got a trend change. It was falling here, meandering around up and down. And right now, let's see. It's tough to tell. She is really just rolling through here, folks. For the last few days, she has been fighting, trying to decide what she wants to do. All of our MAs are kind of trying to climb, kind of flat. I think this is ready to climb. I think she's got a lot going for her. We had a lot of volume come in today compared to everything for the last week. Oscillators are growing slowly. They're brewing up like little tiny bubbles at the bottom of the pot of water. Come on down to our 20-day 1-hour view. Slowly, she is just pushing her way silently across that 200. We had a poke there just at the bell, came back down, and she is pulling all of her MAs over the 200. The 200 is not yet climbing, but everything is crossing over right now. These are all golden crosses. I would expect this price to drop to just this set, the 200 MA, the 200 haul, and the 50 MA, or the 20 right there and start to go. Oscillators are still trying to push up on our 1-hour chart. 5-day, 15-minute. Everything is weak and pensive, but it doesn't look like she wants to drop. If she's going to do anything, I would expect her to come back down to the 200. We had a couple drops here, small ones. One bounce there. No more bounces. And we do see our MAs are starting to cusp over right now. So I honestly would expect this to come down, check out the strength of this 200, which is now climbing, and bounce off of it. So I'd be looking for an entry down here on top of this 200. It may come underneath it. Now remember, folks, if you're going to get into a trade for a short play, you don't want to get into it when it's falling. You don't know if it's going to fall more. You want to always get into a stock when it's climbing. Don't worry about missing the cheapest price. The cheapest price is not normally the safest price. You want to get over top of SMAs or MAs, SMAs, EMAs. You want to get over top of supports and resistances. Right there, you can see we've got one. She is sitting on top of that. If she breaks this support, she's going to fall down to that. She falls underneath that, she could go even further down to this point. So we watch our supports and resistances. This kangaroo needs something to bounce on. If she starts bouncing off of this, that's when I would take my entry and I would ride her up and get yourself some more supports and resistances based on historical price points. This is how you know where she's going to bounce and slow down, and maybe you want to get out. Not 100%. It's never an all or nothing decision, folks. You can say maybe on the OTC, but on the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, you can sell for free. So if she starts climbing and you start getting nervous and you think, should I sell? Should I sell? Sell something. Scratch that itch. Get some money in your pocket. Sell 50%. Feel good and let the rest ride. Now you're getting the best of both worlds. You've got your risk less. you got money in your pocket, and you've still got shares gaining for you. That's what I like to do. Okie dokie. I've still got a voice, but not much of one. What time is it? 5:19. Taylor. I'm going to get your husband. I'm going to get you, dog. Shoot. He was trying to fix her computer and it went bad. Kashera, you never brought me a ticker today. How come? I'm just asking. John, how about Simbo TTO? All right, we're going to make TTO the last stock, not because we're running out of time, though that's true too. I'm running out of voice. Okay, last one here. All bets are dead now, folks. The Wizzy did not screw up. He had volume the entire show. Well, what was that last ticker? TTOO. And he had video the entire show. Not bad. TTO T2 Systems. All right, let's go back to company profile. Company out of Massachusetts. This is a U.S.-based company. T2 Biosystems. She finished today at 50 cents, 50.5 cents, but she dropped about 6.5% today. Another penny stock on the NASDAQ. Now, we haven't mentioned this, folks, but anytime you have a stock on the major exchange under $1, you should immediately go over to the disclosures, see if they've been notified by the NASDAQ that they've got a deadline to get that price up over $1. If they don't get it up over $1 in that time, if we don't, we're the only ones that can get it over $1. They're either going to go down to the OTC or have to do a reverse stock split if they have enough shares, right? Let's see what we've got going on here for T2 Biosystems. They are an in vitro diagnostic company developing diagnostic products and product candidates in the United States and internationally. Its technology enables detection of pathogens, biomarkers, and other abnormalities in various unpurified patient samples, including whole blood, plasma, serum, saliva, sputum, cerebral spinal fluid, and urine. Whew. Okay, let's see if we get anything extra over here at their website. So they're working with specimens and they've got a technology that can sample them, I guess. We're going to need to do some more healthcare. We're going to have to do some more due diligence on this one. So let's take a look at the relative volume for the company first. About half of what she normally does. She's been doing about 1 million shares a day over the last 30 days. Today she did about 583,000 on the major exchange. Share structure. That's not bad. We got 21 million shares outstanding without a clue what the insiders own, so we don't have a clue what the float is. And in case you were wondering, you normally can't find the float even in the financials. You can normally find the outstanding share count real quick, but to find the float, they normally won't even mention it. Market cap for this company, we're at about 11.3 million. Financials for the company. Go. All right, they were doing pretty good. They were between 18 and close to 30 million for the last 3 years. At the end of 2023, 1 million with a huge loss. They lost more than they made. Brought in 7 million, lost 8 million because it cost them 15 million. So it's not like they lost 8 million and we're down 1 million. No, they lost 15 million and we're down 8 million. Ouch. Quarterlies. God, they're making revenues, but they're just not bringing in any profit. They did 2 million the last quarter, but it cost them $4 million to do $2 million worth of business. How do you stay in business like that? And they're doing it quarter after quarter. God, balance sheet for this company. Well, they've got 2 million in the bank, 18 million in assets, 29 million in liabilities, which means we're holding stockholder deficit, surprise, surprise, of 11 million, closer to 12 million. So we've got deficit, don't have any profit. We've got revenues, but do they really count? I don't think so. Fundamentals aren't looking too great for TTO. Let's take a look at the disclosures first before the news. All right, SEC filings. This one came out on the 11th. We've got nothing down there. ARS. I think this is real short if it comes up. If you can't get them, try a PDF. PDFs normally come through easier and quicker. Annual report. So this is going to be their financials. This will be all the information about the company. If you want to know how much we're paying them, how much they're spending, all that stuff, this is where you're going to get that information. I know, ARS. That is the financial here, the ARS. Def 14 also came out. I'm not too familiar with this either. Notice of annual meeting. All right, first thing I want to look for. Whenever I see something about a meeting, they will sometimes show you the proposals that they're going to vote on, and you can get a heads up if they're going to be having a reverse stock split. If they're going to vote on a reverse stock split, chances are it's going to pass. I haven't seen a stock split voted on that wasn't passed yet. So normally they're always passed. Let me see. Management, incentive awards. No, I don't see anything there. Whew. So we don't have that problem. Although I don't think they could actually do it. Could they? What did they have for shares? 21 million. No, they couldn't. I mean, they could. They could do a 1 and 2 and still have 10 million. But you don't want to do a reverse stock split from 50 cents to $1. As soon as you do it, you pissed off people with the reverse stock split who sell. There goes your price right back down to 50 cents. Now they can't do another reverse stock split. Now we're going to the OTC. So you've lost your shares and you're going to the OTC. Bad, bad, bad situation. All right, let's take a look at the news now. Anything good over here? There's your financial results. Gap is down minus 57. Revenue's 1.9 million, but we know they're losing money. Any business? T2 Biosystems Inc. and Precision announced co-marketing collaboration for Rapid Direct from Blood Diagnostics AI-powered decision support platform. Well, of course, you're working with AI. And the company announces exclusive U.S. agreement with Cardinal Health to sell its FDA-cleared direct from blood diagnostics to rapid detection sepsis-causing pathogens. So it sounds to me like we've got some catalysts going here. These would be worth diving into. They just came out last October. So we do have some things happening here. We just don't see any recent news about it. Okay, let's go take a look at TTO on the charts. This feels horrible. I'm not used to not having a voice. All right, we're going to go back a year. Put in TTO. Got a reverse stock split here. I don't see one. We got a high here of $8.37 a year ago. That's what they say. And we got a low. When was this? November 21st. That was at 41 cents. She's just kind of been meandering around, going sideways. You can see my support resistance is drawn right there. And she kind of was stuck in there for a long time. And then when the 200 finally caught up to her, she ran from it. She's way down here. She had a chance to break out right there, and she did not do it. Right in that area. She tried and then failed. Now we got a lot of volume coming in here. Our 200 haul is passing up underneath us. Right now we are trying to get on top of something on our yearly chart. Let's get a better view of this on our 6 month. So you can, before I move away, you can see we are in a downtrend right now, and our 200 is just now trying to level off. Our price has been under it for the longest time. Looks like she has just mounted our 50. Hey, we got a setup, don't we? This is our 200 sandwich. 200 halt on the bottom, going up. Blue is up for me, purple is down. And our 200 MA, which is starting to level off. Not quite there yet, but the price is sitting on the 50. This is a perfect setup for me, folks. I look for this all the time. Oscillators are very cool right now. Nothing really going on. Everything is just going sideways. But remember, our 200 MA is falling. Our 200 haul is climbing. We have the 200 press, the squeeze going on right now to the price right there. So we know in a short amount of time, something's got to pop. Something's got to give. And the way this looks, it looks like it wants to change its trend and start climbing. Look at our 20-day 1 hour view. We've gotten on top of the 200 here. We had a little try here, nothing important, but she came back down to her 50, was not falling, crossed over the 200, jumping from about 50 cents up to 71, just shy of 50% gains. Came back. She's bounced on the 200 here, checking it, testing it, testing it. This is a lot of testing going on right now. What we're looking for is our MAs to turn around, to get underneath the price while she is doing all of this testing. You can see all the MAs are over her head, starting to turn down. We need them to get under. So if she can stay on this 200, just bouncing on it while all the MAs turn around, there's a very strong likelihood that the MAs under it will create heat, and that heat will just cause it to rise, and we'll start to get this thing to churn up. Oscillators. Everything is just at the bottom of the bowl, right at the cusp. We are turning up on our RSI, MACD, and our PPO. So everything looks like it is trying to climb. 5-day, 15-minute. Well, we've got a chance here, folks. Everything was under, our price was under everything. Right now, she's had 3 strong bars in the aftermarket period trying to get on top of that 50. The last time she got on the 50, she got very strong and jumped to the 200. The 200 is still pushing down, though, and you normally do not see a breakout if the 200 is falling. You need to get that 200 flat or climbing, and right now she is starting that roll down, which is a bit scary. All of our oscillators, though, say she wants to push up. So we could see a snap here. Everything is right there right now. So I would put TTO on my watch list. If you like stocks that bounce fast, this could be one of them. All right. Where are we at? 5:32, and my voice made it. Woohoo! I can't even do that. Well, there we go. We had 6 or 7 stocks in there. A couple of them I really like. Some of them are kind of interesting. A robot with humor, Prez token. We've got a couple stocks there that are taking jumps, a couple stocks that are ready to break out, and the OTC seems to be getting life. Now, we didn't take a look at what the overall volume was today on the OTC market. But as I said, it's been about 2 to 5 billion for the last 2 years. I think maybe a half a dozen times in the last 2.5 years, we have broke 10 billion in one day, but not often. It would be nice to see it start coming back. So start watching the OTC markets, folks. If you've got a lot of penny stocks you've been holding, they may start coming back. I got 130 penny stocks I have been holding since pre-COVID that crashed. Out of that 131, you ready for this? 73 of them had reverse stock splits. And to show you how detrimental this is, I'll be honest, I have lost over $40,000 just in reverse stock splits. The averages of my stocks are stupid now. For example, take Mullen, 4 reverse stock splits. I went through them all. I have less than 10 shares now. Each one cost me $869. And I think Mullen is under $3 right now. The only way you come back from a reverse stock split is to put more money into the stock. Unless it's a successful stock split and it just keeps climbing from that point, if it falls, it just compounds your losses. So all of those stocks are like at 98, 99% loss with very few shares. Not much I could do about it. I wasn't going to sell them when you were that far down, and now they're even further down. I haven't been buying pinks in a long time. I learned my lesson the hard way, and I'm still holding the bags. All right, folks, I appreciate your time today. I thought Taylor might, oh God, I was praying she might show up today. She might be here next week. You never can tell. But I'm here, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, folks. I'll see you next week. That's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time Thursdays, every Thursday, unless it's a holiday. See ya. I'm going to do my funny face now.